Today on Dice to Pixels, we've been at this for 2 years, and we don't know what we're going to talk about. But stick with us. Sarah, what are we talking about?
You said you had topics.
I have things to talk about. I thought it'd be funny. Fuck!
I was going with the funny. You were the one that was screwing that up.
I have some things, but you were talking. What were you just telling us about? And I told you to shut up.
More remasters.
Yeah, Ubisoft is going to be remaking some Assassin's Creed games.
How?
So Black Flag is 11 years old. I know that.
I was gonna say, yeah. I'm like, my initial reaction was they're not that old, but I have to remember that I'm super old. So, yeah, the oldest one's probably 20 some years.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you're ancient.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're in the MoMA. Wait, no, the Museum of Old Art.
MOA?
Yeah, MOA.
MOA.
MOA. Okay, well that's pretty quick. They didn't give any more details than that.
No, there's none announced. But like,
Wouldn't surprise me if it was like the Ezio trilogy and then 1, 3, 4. Like they'll probably pair up 3 and 4 because they were more or less similar, I guess.
Yeah, I figure they'll more or less go in order, right?
That's sense. What I figured too. I was in the article I was reading too. It said that the CEO of Ubisoft was just like, yeah, we want to pump them out more regularly. They do come out every couple of years already to begin with.
Well, they used to come out yearly, and then they put a stop to that. And
that's not a phrase that I want to hear from a game publisher.
No. That doesn't
sound good.
That's like that's the sports game way of looking at things.
I want to pump them out more regularly is not the quality bar that I'm looking for in my game.
Let's.
So,
considering like when they announced, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say more. I did say more regularly.
Yeah.
That was the
I don't know,
more regularly.
Considering the reception that Assassin's Creed Shadow got, and I know it was mixed. I know there were some people that were like, "Oh, yay, cool, awesome!" Assassin's Creed in Japan. Me, I'm like, all right, we just played Ghost of Tsushima, which is pretty much Assassin's Creed Japan without having the Assassin's Creed banner, and played a lot better in my opinion. The whole problem with the Assassin's Creed series initially, when they were pumping them out, was the quality of each game. Like it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Until Origins, when they made it like open world and level based, like that kind of shit. And then people got sick of that with Valhalla. So
I think that's probably the point of why they're going back and remaking them, is because they're getting so low on new concepts and ideas that they're just going, oh, we can sell nostalgia now.
Yeah, and look, I don't have a problem with them remaking them, especially if they're just sort of remastering them. Because get them on the new consoles, great. That's fine. That's great. It's for the people who want them. I won't be interested, but for people who want them, great, cool. I just pump them out more regularly. Like just that regularity is not what I need in my game release schedule. Quality is really where I'm looking for. Yeah. So if they're remasters, it's fine. Like, because at the end of the day, if all you're doing is adding new assets and stuff, there's no reason you can't put it on a time like a schedule. But that's just such a shitty way of talking about game releases.
Yeah. That was also because I know with the not Assassin's Creed different, but they're doing a remake of the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Yeah,
and they showed some footage of that, and it shot for shot, it basically looks like it follows the same, like shot for shot of the original, just with a prettier coat of paint. So that's not. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be like, maybe they do different angles or different shots or whatever, but it looked literally shot for shot.
I like the shot. Like if you're gonna remake, like I like what they did with Super Mario RPG, where it is through and through the same game. It's got a few little changes here and there, but like it's the same game. That's the way I likes it. If you want to do a reimagining of it or even a substantial remake, just call it something else.
Yep.
for me, I'm a big fan of, if you're doing a remaster or remake, whatever, like just stick to the fucking original. If you want to throw in an extra cutscene or something, that's fine. But although I fucking hate cutscenes, so
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, when you start like, well, we're gonna change this scene and everything else, is like, but what if that was my favorite scene of the original?
Yeah,
what if that's why I bought it?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, is if they start changing things like that, that's when they get angry, pitchforks and everything.
It's like, if you want to apply new ideas, make a new game. If you want to remake a game, remake a game.
Mhm.
Don't blend the two,
Yes.
in my opinion.
So it's funny that like bringing up the like remakes and stuff like that. I actually just finished one because I'm on a bit of a retrofit right now because I'm an old bastard. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not an old bastard. I'm an old fucker.
Yeah, playing some of that good old fashioned Pong from your
Yeah,
childhood.
exactly, right? I got with the wood case. And,
Yeah,
you know,
buddy.
it's
Well, I
like,
want one of those, actually.
trying to get it to work in HDMI, pain in the ass, but I figured it out anyway. No, so I went back and I'm going through all of the Metroid games.
Yeah.
I love the Metroid series. It's great. They came out on the Game Boy Advance with Metroid Zero Mission, which was basically like a remake of the first Metroid on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Just more story. Like they added some more story bits to it, and then they added another level and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
So I played the original Metroid, and you know, Justin Bailey got all the shit, finished it real quick, whatever, because I didn't really want to go through the whole thing. Zero Mission's actually a great example of taking and remaking a game and adding things to it, but it retains that feel. Like Metroid Zero Mission, it's on the if you have the Nintendo Online Premium, I guess it's called, or whatever, where you can get the Game Boy Advance online. It's on that. I totally recommend, if you never played it, I recommend playing it. It's a fantastic game. I just finished it the other day.
Yeah.
So now I'm on, and I finished it, and then I beat Super Metroid in a day, and now I'm playing Metroid Fusion.
Nice.
But yeah, it was great. Like the added little things that there's a point where in the original when you beat the game and then something happens and you get more game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I really dug it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the things like that are fine, where you're respecting the original game and then you're just adding a little bit more. Like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. In a lot of cases, there's stuff that maybe you wanted to include in the original, and just because of the cartridge space or whatever, you just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all fine. But like, my thing is just don't fuck with the original game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't need to be fucked with in general. If the original game wasn't worth remaking, then don't fucking remake it. Do something else.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to ask somebody at Nintendo, because they're watching. Everybody knows the Nintendo executives watching.
Yep.
this,
Yeah.
right?
CEO.
Yep. Especially today.
Yeah.
'Cause it's 200
you know,
or 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 years now.
2
yeah.
years.
So I'd strongly like to suggest that you get the development team that did Metroid Dread and have them do a nice remake of Super Metroid, please.
Yeah.
I love Super Metroid, and for the most part, I don't think it needs a remake because it stands the test of time so well. However, your fucking space jump doesn't like to work most of the time.
Yeah.
When you're trying to like jump and, you know, like it's like, and you can just keep jumping. That's the thing, right?
Yep.
And you're hitting the button, but you're not jumping.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was like a bug, but from back in the day, that's just still in the freaking game. But yeah, I wouldn't say no to, I'd be actually impressed. Like, you know, because we're going to be getting Metroid Prime 4. Yes, because I love the Metroid Prime. They just did the remaster. I hope they remaster Echoes.
You're a huge Metroid junkie.
I love Metroid. It's a great series. Super Metroid is probably my favorite Super Nintendo game ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I still have like the original in the box.
Nice.
Like that my brother had apparently, and
that's worth like $800 million now.
Probably not.
$50 US. 800 million Canadian.
Oh,
I mean, that would be nice. This actually, fuck, that's a good topic too. Is just how the online stuff is kind of devaluing having like the original.
Oh, I got you. You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yes,
it's a little
like,
bit.
It's like a yes and no thing,
Yeah.
right? Because you look at something like Earthbound, and we're going all over the place. I'm
gonna open my can. Hang on. Wait.
Oh
There it
yeah.
I was expecting something more. It's our 2-year anniversary, so I mean we're just kind of going all over the place. But I looked at the game Earthbound when it initially came out on Super Nintendo. Like it's one of those like rare cartridges because it came with something like a fat manual or something. There was something about it. And it's just rare. Like you go on eBay and people would be selling this game for like almost $1,000. But now it's on like the Super Nintendo MIDI, and it's on the Super Nintendo Online on the Switch. So I'm wondering, like,
yeah, it came with the player's guide.
That's it
included,
and you need one with that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I'm wondering, like, just stuff like that, like if things like that, like legit, like literally, like devalue like collectors.
I think it does to some extent because it makes it more accessible to people that want to try it that have never played it before, and don't want to fork out a buttload of money to get the system and to get the game and the shipping to get the game from wherever it is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think serious collectors, they're not going to care. They're going to pay the money for the thing that they want.
Yeah, so I think I'm right in saying that in general, when digital versions and stuff comes out, it increases the value of the high end and decreases the low end. So if you've got a mint condition, like still in box, still in the wrapper, you're going to be better off because there's going to be more people that might want it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a ratty old copy that might have sold for $80 or $90, it's now not going to because people can just get it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Same thing happens with Magic. When, more players, things get, and then of course you get this scam like the collector's market that just continues to go crazy, and you get multi-million-dollar Black Lodi and stuff. But it generally speaking, like when the Magic Arena stuff happened, it devalued to some degree the older cheap cards, the shitty cards, not cheap, but like shitty. Like if you had a ratty old dual land, maybe, I mean, they're still quite valuable, but maybe devalue something like that. But if you've got a really good one, the value is only going up. So I think that's generally fair to say, is like it doesn't affect collectors too much because they have high quality stuff. But anyone who just has like, oh, this was like from my childhood, and it doesn't have the instruction manual, and the box is like in tatters and everything else, but
and
the
I
game
wrote
works.
fuck on the back of the cartridge.
Yeah, exactly. But like the game works, it's like, okay, you're not going to get nearly as much for that.
Yeah.
On the note of digital stuff, though, did you guys happen to see that Xbox Game Pass, cloud gaming, is coming to Amazon Fire Sticks?
Interesting. No, I didn't.
I'm a little interested. Well, I'm interested by this. I'm not going to use it. I don't give two shits. I haven't 2 Xboxes and laptops and everything else.
Yeah.
But
Apple TV and
it's interesting because I had said 6 months ago, maybe even more, that I thought Microsoft and Nintendo were both likely to head in this direction.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't seem to have moved in this direction at all, but Microsoft is very rapidly heading towards the like, we don't care where you play our games, we just want you to play our games.
Yep.
And this is another step towards it. They're basically saying like, yeah, if you've got a Fire Stick, which are like free, I don't even know how much they cost. I think I'm gonna guess that they're under $50, but I can look it up.
I mean, shit, at one point Google was giving away those
the Chromecast,
Chromecast for nothing.
$59.99 Canadian, so yeah, under 50 US.
Yeah.
And $15 a month, and you've got Xbox games.
Yeah.
It could be better, but I mean, hey, beats a $700 console.
No kidding. So, yeah.
Although,
unless you get that finance plan that EB Canada was up here anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know if they do it down there, but
still cheaper to go the Fire Stick. But for me, I'm like, at the same time, obviously for some people, a couple $100 makes a huge difference. For me, it makes less of a difference. But I would still go for the S.
Yeah.
Like,
especially now that they've increased the hard drive.
Yeah, I'm like, the S isn't well, okay, I shouldn't say that. I don't think the S is that expensive. I forget what I paid when I bought mine. But I feel like it was only a few $100.
I think it was like $399 or $499.
I thought it was $349. Either way, I'd be tempted to get the actual console that like can play things locally. But it is very interesting to see Microsoft's going this path.
I can see it being something very attractive for very casual players. Like that is something that I would be like, here, Katie, my sister Katie, here's this thing. We can play Xbox games together now.
Yeah.
Without you having to spend hundreds of dollars and take up more space in your tiny apartment with this thing. So
now there is one potential benefit, and mind you, it only works in very few hotels. But if I was still traveling a lot, I would definitely get a Fire Stick to throw into the TV. Because most hotels you can plug there's always an HDMI port open. You can throw your stick in, and that'd be nice to not have to travel with an actual. Like I used to do it on my laptop, and it was okay. It's usually the Wi-Fi that's the limiting factor, but being able to just throw a Fire Stick on would be amazing.
Yeah.
For the record, it's $379.99 for a 512 Series S right now, Canadian.
Oh,
so
not terrible.
Yeah, so like $50 versus we'll call it $340 or so US. I get that $300 makes a big difference to a lot of people, but I'd be tempted to just get the actual console. But then again, I actually play games, so
yeah.
But hey, for like taking a Fire Stick up to Danielle's parents or something to leave there now that they finally have Starlink and the internet's not complete horse shit, it's great. I mean, this just increases the availability. I think it's cool. And I think it's great that Microsoft is going this route. And I do wonder how much of a difference this is going to make to their next console generation. I predict that their next consoles are going to come in a very cheap version and a fairly eye-wateringly expensive version.
Yeah, so there'll be like the big Xbox, and then there'll be like the Fire Stick version, more or less, like the cloud version.
Yeah, I think they'll have something akin to the S, but cheaper and less powerful. And then they'll have the X, which is like the absolute top of the line, and they might even push that price a bit higher because it would be sort of akin to a full-on gaming PC at that point. That would be my sort of hot take prediction on this, because I think they're going to bifurcate into like, if you're a gamer, here's your solution.
Yeah.
If you're like a casual gamer, we've got options. Here you go.
It feels like they're testing the water with the X and the S at this point.
I think so. Yeah. And I think this is just another step down that path. And I don't think it'll go, to be clear, I'm not saying that you'll only have like a Fire Stick in the next generation, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a $200 console.
The just basically digital only, like no physical.
Well, I think they already said that they were going digital only.
Yeah.
See, it makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Whereas back when the Xbox One era started,
they might have pushed it a little bit.
Yeah,
there,
they were too far ahead.
Yeah.
I still don't like digital only. It's convenient, but I do like the ability to trade in games.
I know. Yeah, we've talked about that, and I'm always two minds. I'm like, and with things like getting censored and changed and everything else, I'm like, I really like the idea of having physical media, but fuck me if I'm going and like ordering it and waiting for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Very true.
But yeah, if I had to take a guess, I would say that the next Xboxes will be like probably like an $800 for the premium and like a sub 200 maybe even for the low end. And it'll be all digital. They've already kind of said that.
Yeah.
And I think the lowest end will be like, you want to play a AAA, you stream it. Anything else you can play locally. Just because it won't have the power to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and even now, like, there's a lot of talk right now about Sony coming out with like a PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they will. I mean, there will be another console generation. They're not just going to stop. I would be shocked if there weren't a new Xbox Series.
Well, that's what I mean. I've seen some talk about a new, like a Series X Pro, I guess.
I think they'll drop one more heavy hitter. And then I wouldn't be shocked if that's the last of the consoles. I suspect we'll get one more generation of PlayStation and Xbox. And then Xbox, at least, I'm going to say I think it's going to be the last one. The next series will be the last one.
I think they're going to have to, if they stop doing consoles, they're going to have to market PCs a little bit different then to appeal to them, because people are going to freak out that are console only.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some sort of change in marketing to make it more appealing for people to actually invest in a PC to continue playing Xbox games, I think.
I think they'll start selling Xbox PCs.
Yeah.
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 They'll just like on Dell or whatever, they'll just start selling Xbox PCs.
Yeah.
And then also I wouldn't be shocked if, because we're like, I think there will be one more generation that'll last for another, it'll come out in say 2 or 3 years and it'll last for another 6 or 7. So we're talking like 10 years down the line. I think that the cheap version of the Xbox will just be in the controller. You'll just, it'll just be like, yeah, you can just hook this up to anything that can stream URLs, you know, it'll work with Chromecast, it'll work with Amazon Fire, it'll work with whatever, and your controller will store your credentials and talk to whatever device. That would be like my rough guess, because we're talking 10 years. There's time to get that technology sorted. And then you'll just be like, any Xbox controller can just talk to any Fire or Chromecast or whatever stick, any Windows device, and just be like, hey, I want to play this game. Here's my credentials. Send it to the server, grab the stream, and we'll go. That would be like that would be what I would be working on if I was them. Yeah. And then I think we'll get one more heavy hitter Xbox. And then I think we'll go to, you know, just Steam machines. Like you'll be able to buy an Xbox, but it'll just be an Xbox PC. It'll literally just be a computer.
I'm curious to see what Nintendo's going to do.
I don't know. They haven't made any moves at all, which to be fair, they haven't had to because they're still selling tons of shit. But
like the OLED coming out. I mean, when they came out with the OLED, everybody thought they were going to do like a Switch Pro. And then we got the OLED, which I like the OLED.
It's
I
good.
think it's a hell of a lot better than the original Switch model, but
it's not an upgrade. Like it's not a new console.
No, but they've always been pretty innovative with like each console generation. So I'm very curious to see what they got coming.
I feel like they're trying to do VR again. They're trying to redeem themselves from the Virtual Boy. And
I really
they just
hope
can't
they're not.
Get there. I agree, but I feel like because we haven't seen anything from them, I feel like maybe that's what they're trying, and they're gonna fail. But
how long was the Wii out before the Wii U came out?
That's a great question. Let me check.
Yeah, I don't
This
know.
is
I know
weird.
they just,
I can't check this myself because I forgot my freaking laptop.
they just had like a Nintendo Direct too, where they announced some like a Zelda game where you actually play as Zelda. Zelda's the main character. And you have to save Link. It looks like it's that same graphical style like the remake of Link's Awakening they did. How they all look like toys.
Oh,
so
I want to play
that's
that.
cool. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Okay, so the Wii was 2006, late 2006, and the Wii U was 2012, again late, so like 6 years. And the GameCube was about 6 years before that. So they seem to be 6-year cycle, except the Switch, obviously.
Yeah.
It was like 2016, I think. 2016 or
Yeah,
2017.
I feel like that's about right. 2017,
I
yeah.
thought
So we're at 7 and counting. So maybe they've got something they're going to drop soon. Or maybe they're just like, you know what? We don't need a more powerful console. We'll release something when we feel like it.
Yeah. Or it could also be maybe their timelines got shoved back with 2020.
Yeah,
and all of
could
that
be,
stuff.
Could be.
I'm not going to say the word because we get censored whenever
They were
use
smart.
The word.
They were smart though with like going. Well, actually, fucking Nintendo really from GameCube to Wii, because when the Wii initially came out, they had it like so that you could use all your GameCube stuff on the Wii.
Yeah.
Smart, because I still have one of those Wiis.
Yep.
And then the same with the Wii U, like all of the Wii stuff that you had worked on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Great, perfect.
Yeah.
You got a little screwed over though when you went to the Switch, and going back to the cartridge format was kind of.
Yeah, I mean you gotta.
But
you gotta cut stuff off here and there. A big part of it, like I still think Nintendo would do well to license their games and make them more broadly available.
Yep.
Not that they're hurting. They're doing just fine.
Mario Kart on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network.
Yeah, there's market there that they could make some extra bucks.
Super Smash Brothers.
At the same time,
Splatoon.
like when it comes to the Wii, the style of game that Nintendo releases with the exception of shit like Breath of the Wild, which is just garbage. They don't need a more powerful system. I mean, Animal Crossing 2 will run on the Switch just fine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I would love to know what their plans are, but I feel like they're going to try something with VR again, try like Virtual Boy number 2, and it's going to be absolute shit. But
Or
who
like
knows?
Meta. Like Meta or the fucking
Yeah.
Oculus Rift or some
Yeah.
shit. But like at a cheaper, probably at a way cheaper.
Well, that would be the thing. They'd have to do it nice and cheap. But
Mhm.
at the same time, they don't need much processing power. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Mhm.
I don't expect to hear much from them, honestly, for a while because they're still, I think, outselling Sony and Microsoft. So it's not like they need to do something new.
It's
Yeah.
not like the Switch feels outdated in any way either. Like it. For
Not
what
in
it
any
is.
way that matters.
No.
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 Yeah.
Well, if you're playing on a Switch, you're playing it for Nintendo games to
Exactly.
begin with, for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yep.
But
Metroid series.
Yeah.
well,
I mean, like,
no,
fair
because
enough,
I
yeah.
literally am.
Yeah.
compared to the Steam Deck, the
Yep.
Switch feels outdated and silly.
yeah,
But for the games, it's perfectly fine. Like
Mhm.
I never feel like, oh damn, I really need a more powerful Switch,
hmm
because it's like, well, unless again you're playing shit like Breath of the Wild, which is the worst fucking game. No, that's not true. Tears of the Kingdom is the worst game ever made. But aside from those games that just don't run for shit, everything else that I've played on the Switch runs just fine. I
Yeah.
never feel like I need more power. There's lots of times when I'm like, this just feels like an old design language at this point. Like,
Mhm.
I know the nunchuck, like the separatable like nunchuck things was like a big thing, and it was super cool when they did it. But at this time, it's like, okay, but that's like really old tech now. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem very impressive
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see.
Yep.
I guess we're pretty much at time.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
Well,
our 2-year ramble.
2 years. Yeah, we have been. This is episode 104. So those of you who can do math, it's 52 times 2. 2 years.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep putting them out for at least a while,
Yep.
hmm
till we're 80 or 90 at least.
Probably.
I mean, I would be playing the Shadows of the Erdtree Elden Ring DLC, but I just don't really have
Metroid.
time to.
Yeah.
because Metroid.
Well, Metroid, yes, but also other things like, I mean, music. You know, you're doing your market
yeah.
stuff. You're
We got stuff
pimp.
going
Yeah,
on.
why don't you pimp your shit?
If you want yarn, go buy yarn at my store. I got
Or
secondhand yarn or socks.
You gotta-
Well, I don't have that many.
or
You gotta give them the website.
Knittingknives.com.
That's KNITTING KNIVES.com.
she also
I
takes.
just wanted to see if I could do that without fucking up.
Sarah's been known to do commission work too. So,
Yes.
and she does make awesome stuff. You've probably seen a lot of it in the past 2 years when you've been watching. She'll wear some of her swag.
Did we ever show the dice bags? Well, they're not dice bags, but like the bags that you made on stream on the podcast?
The plastic one I made out of garbage bags?
No, you made you had like there was like a bat.
Oh, yeah,
that
no,
you,
I've
like,
never
put stuff
showed those
in.
on. Yeah.
You should bring one at some point
Yeah.
because those are cool.
Yeah, I'll bring the
They're-
Mothman one.
I
That one's cool.
called them a dice bag. They're not a dice bag. They're too big for that. Although
No, they're good
Yeah.
size for dice. They fit all my dice.
Yeah, bring one of those sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll show them off. They're super cool. They're fun.
Yeah.
And with that,
Yeah.
we shall bid you adieu. We love you all.
here's to many more years.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo! Bye.